Backyard Blooms. In today's video, we are going to do a winter garden tour. It is the first part of January, and I am filming this on Sunday, and I'll probably get it out to you on Tuesday. But it is early morning right now, and it is absolutely gorgeous out here. It is just so peaceful this morning, watching all the squirrels, the birds, and guess what? I have a pesky little yellow-bellied woodpecker that's back again this morning, and I'm gonna have to do something about it because pretty much last year it almost destroyed my tree, and I'm gonna throw a little clip up of that woodpecker. So it's a type of woodpecker, but it's really not a woodpecker. It's called a yellow-bellied sapsucker, and they really like these Nellie Stevens Hollies, and that's all they're interested in is the sap in those trees. So anyways, kind of deal with that this morning as well. And I want you to look at all the evergreens. I feel like they don't get enough attention throughout the year because all the blooms get the major attention. I do have some gorgeous blooms this year. I have blooming right now. I have my Hellebores blooming and my camellias, some pansies, violas, the kale's looking really pretty, and some of the mustard as well. So, and then got a lot of bulbs that are starting to pop up as well. So I'm pretty excited about this video. I hope you guys are too. And I'm going to turn the camera around. And by the way, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, Zone 8. For you that are new to my channel, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe because I'm trying to grow my channel as well. And that's really important to me. And it tells me that I'm doing good, and it lets YouTube know that I'm doing good as well. So I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you this gorgeous garden. So I'm going to just pan around my backyard right now and just show you all the gorgeous trees. Those from a distance are the emerald green Arborvitaes, and in the middle I have a little Gem Magnolia. And then panning around, you can just tell that the evergreens are your framework into your garden. So you might not think that they're very important, but they are a great structure in your garden as well. And then I have my rose garden here with all the Splendor boxwoods. I have 3 Oakland Hollies back there, and then 2 of the Nellie Stevens Hollies that I've got into a little topiary balls. And I do love those. I think that these Nellie Stevens would be really pretty just in a whole row on the side of a house or something. I think they're gorgeous. So don't be afraid to play around with the trees. That's all I did was remove all the bottom branches and make the top as a ball. It was not that hard. And then here is, I call this one my cottage garden, but it's starting to become more of a shade garden because of these Yoshio Cryptomeria trees that are just absolutely gorgeous. So I have 4 of these in my garden, and they're starting to get very tall, as you can see up there. I'm going to say they're probably 16 to 20 feet tall, and they will get 30 feet tall. And they've been in the garden for almost 5 years. So this is where I'm starting to plant some more of my shade-loving plants, since you could tell that in between these Yoshio cherry, not Yoshio cherry, I've got Yoshio cherries too. These Yoshio Cryptomeria trees, they're having a lot of shade in between. So sometimes your gardens change, and mine is starting to change. And then up on the corner of the house right here, I have another magnolia tree. These are the little Gem Magnolias, and I especially love this magnolia right here because I can look out the window in my living room, and it gives me some structure to look at but lets the light still through and gives me some privacy. So I really like that as well. And this is where I enjoy my coffee in the morning times. I really do love this area. So closer up look of the magnolia. I don't have any blooms on the magnolia tree, but the leaves are so vibrant and glossy. I do love the structure of this tree in the garden. And then I have some tea olives right here to give me some more screening. I've got 4 of those. When we sit on the couch right here, I like to have a little bit more privacy from my neighbors right here, since we do live in a subdivision and we're all pretty close together. And these are the Asiatic Jasmine Snow and Summer. I was trying to read the tag as I'm trying to video right here. And they give lots of different interests too. These are really good for containers, and they're really good for a ground cover as well. This one's showing off just a little bit more. Look at all the color variation on this. And then you can see my tag right here as well. If you're looking for these in the garden. I've seen these in several nurseries lately. They have pink, white, green, all on one plant. So this plant, I don't know if it flowers, but just shows you that you don't have to have flowers to show a lot of interest in the garden, because sometimes foliage can give you that interest as well. This right here is the extension of my garden. This is called my Westside garden. So we'll come around and show that one in just a little bit. And I don't really have a lot to show because a lot of them are perennials in this garden. But I have some Gara. This is tall phlox right here. Gara right here. I have some daylilies that are popping up. Look at the daylilies right here. They're looking really pretty coming up. And then I have a little bit of some grass right there as well. I did have some strawberries in this planter, but you guys are gonna have to let me know what should I do to this planter this year. So I may move it into more of a sunny location, but it's got 8 or so containers around it, and it's more for like a strawberry planter. And I did have the strawberries in there, but they didn't really produce a lot of strawberries for me, so I just went ahead and pulled them up. They may have done better if I had it in full sun. And then I have another container here that I have some pretty color. Do you hear that bird? So I have some carex right here that I absolutely adore. I love this plant right here. Look at all the foliage on that. Look at the green foliage just on this one little leaf right here. So that's given me lots of interest. I love how it just kind of drapes over the container. And then these are the violas right here. And then I have some orange pansies. You can still see the dew on it. It rained quite a bit last night, yesterday. So we got a good amount of rain yesterday. And these tea olives have a little bit of tiny little blooms on them. I'm waiting for them to start giving me this awesome smell. So they've been in the garden, I think maybe going on 3 years, so they don't have a lot of growth on them yet. They've probably doubled in size, but they're not really giving me a smell that the tea olives are supposed to start smelling. They're supposed to be smelling divine from what I hear. Or that's what Jenny from Creekside says, that her tea olives smell divine. This is another container that I just have on the porch right here. This is lemon coral sedum. And then since I did have a palm that was in the middle of that, of course it didn't winter over, and I was okay with that. I knew that that was gonna happen. And it was a cheap enough plant that I did not want to winter it over. And then I just cut some of my limbs off my Cryptomeria trees and just stuck them in the dirt and did the same thing with the magnolia limbs right there. And kind of made like a little winter interest here. I think this container is very pretty still. And this lemon coral sedum is really an annual, but it is a perennial for us because it does come back. And look, it just stayed gorgeous all winter long for me here in Zone 8. I have 3 containers that are all identical here in the cottage garden. And then I do have some ivy in here. This is from Proven Winners, and this has given me a lot of interest right now. And then so is the ornamental kale. Look at that color. Isn't that beautiful? And then the mustard, the Miss America mustard. And then I had some pansies right here that I just kind of cut back. They were starting to get pretty leggy. So I went ahead and trimmed them back, and they're starting to flush back out again. I just don't have any color right now. And then I have a few snapdragons back there that are white. Look how pretty these Cryptomeria trees are, because like I said, it's wintertime and they just do not get the attention that they deserve. These are feathery like, and I really like that they just kind of flow in the wind. As you can see, this one is right here. So it gives you some movement in the garden. Bought this cute little frog at Creekside Nursery when they did their closing this past year. This is from Unique Stone, so pretty. I have a couple of lights that I have in the garden that are actually giving light to the Cryptomeria trees. This is Beyond Pink Coreopsis that I cut back, and it still has some evergreen on it. The Gara still has a little bit of green. And then you can see my Easter flowers that are starting to pop up still right here. Now this is where I limbed this tree up. I have 4 of these Cryptomeria trees in this garden, and you can see where I limbed them up just a little bit. So I just brought my canopy up, and I used my Saker's mini chainsaw for that. And I kind of like it because I can plant underneath here. I got lots of room that I can plant now, and I could put some type of shade plants right here. And then you could see my junipers in the background as well, where before I couldn't really see those. I had to go to the other side of the garden. I have an obelisk that I don't have anything on it right now. And then this little Gem Magnolia was just planted maybe 2 years ago. So you can see that this blend is coming up pretty nicely. I did these in drifts, and I'll throw the name up. I bought these from Color Blends, and I think it's called a Silly blend. These were kind of more made for the South, so that's why I thought I'd give them a try. And they've been in the ground for, this is the 2nd year that they've been in the ground, and they're coming up really nicely. So I think I have maybe 200 something bulbs in this garden. You can see where I have a drift here. And then if you come over here, I have another drift going on right there. This is just the other container, number 2. Miss America there. This one has a couple more pansies that are showing a little bit of color. Got the ivy. And then this right here is a trailing pansy. This kale's gorgeous. So these are the Hellebores that I just transplanted from the skinny side garden that I had planted maybe a couple of years ago. So they don't really have a lot of blooms on them yet, but I can see lots of buds. And I planted 3 of those in a drift. And I can hear my chimes, so if you guys are listening to that, that's me and maybe not you. These are the Hellebores that I just planted in the video with you guys that I bought at Creekside, and I got at another nursery in Gastonia, the Southern Roots. So they're kind of facing downward right now, but I'm going to try to get in the middle of them and show you that bloom. I especially really love this one right here. And this is Ice and Roses. I have a little tag that I have right here. I'll show you. Ice and Roses, and I think maybe, yeah, I just put Hellebores. I especially love my tags because I tend to forget what the names are. So this one kind of like lost its center, or it's just not maybe bloomed out yet. Let's see what this one looks like. Oh, look at that. Isn't that so pretty? How many things do you think, little calyxes that are in the middle of that, do you think? This teeny tiny little flower. So these are the Nellie Stevens that I made as a topiary, and like I said, they don't get enough attention. So I'm gonna give them attention right now. I have 4 of these, 2 on this side and 2 on the other, because I do like symmetry in the garden. So I have 4 total. Sasha's over there getting her a drink. She wants to be in the show. Isn't she beautiful? She's a pretty dog. Some of the bluebirds, eastern bluebirds right there. And they are in my Yoshio cherry tree. I have 2 of those. These are going to give me spring interest. This one kind of takes a beating because it's real close to this planter, bird feeder, and the squirrels like to jump on it as well. That's why I have that protectant on there. This is the very back of my garden, and this is the Savannah garden. And I just threw this cover over not too long ago because we had 24-degree weather. So I need to like get that out of the way. It did rain here yesterday, so I wanted this garden bed to get some rain. But like I said, this is the Savannah garden, and it comes with these trellises, and it comes with a cover. I'm gonna throw a couple of clips up to show you with a cover on it. And what it did for me was to protect these ranunculuses that I have in this garden. It protected them in the 24-degree weather. They don't like to be below 26, but they do like to grow in the cold. So this is the Savannah raised garden bed, and it was very easy put together. And I love the trellis that it comes on it. And it comes with 2 different covers. One more just to kind of keep the bugs or deer out, if you struggle with that problem, and then it comes with the other cover that kind of makes it like a greenhouse. So like I said, I've got ranunculuses in here that I'm trying to grow, and they're starting to come up, look. So I'm very excited about these. I'm hoping that I will get some blooms this year. And I had a couple of videos out about that where I pre-sprouted them by accident, and I planted them upside down. But anyways, look at them. They're starting to all come up. Like I said, I've got 2 raised garden beds. These are the Oakland Hollies, and I do love these trees. They are a very great structure. And since we're talking about evergreens that don't get enough attention, this is another one. And this one does flower, so the bees really do like this one in the springtime. And I have 3 of those, and these are kind of making a curved around my fire pit right there. This is the other raised bed. And the only thing that I have in here right now are some tulips that are growing. The ones that I were using as my experiment, that I was trying to recreate how they would grow in Holland. And I think a few of them are starting to come up. Yeah. are starting to pop up. So I know that they will definitely come up year after year, but I don't know if they'll give us blooms. We may just get more greenery out of them, but we're gonna see. I've got maybe 200 of them in here. And this planter bed is made out of cedar. And you can see I have my drip in there too that I just got laying in there. This is my other Yoshio cherry tree. And this is what the garden looks like from behind. So it's on a hill, and you can see that I have steps coming down into the garden. My husband's back there playing ball with Sasha, and I have the fire pit. And then this is my Galloway urn from Unique Stone. I absolutely love this piece. And that kale right there is looking really good. The Sprinter boxwoods are starting to turn a little bronzy, and that's normal this time of year. They're not dying. And I have 4 quadrants that surround my paver patio. And that's what that bronze looks like close up. And these are my David Austin roses. This is Eustacia Ave, and actually, look, I still got blooms. Can you believe that? Like, I don't know if they'll actually will bloom, but I got buds. Here's more orange blooms for you. I do kind of try to trim these back a little bit so they'll bloom more. And I have 2 planters on this side. This is my rose garden from a different view. I have 4 different types of David Austin roses in here. And like I said, they're just kind of going down off this hill. Daddy playing ball with Sasha. She loves ball. He has a lacrosse stick, and you have to have 2 balls because she won't drop the other ball until you throw the other one. This is Miss Grace. I call this my hydrangea garden because I have several of the little lime hydrangeas. Of course, they're not, you know, in bloom right now. They just look like twigs. And then the emerald green arborvitaes are still in the show right now. It's a magnolia tree. And then my hedge of the emerald green arborvitaes. And this is just what my hydrangeas are looking like right now. I've already pruned them back. So in the springtime, I'm gonna say late March, I will come and give everything some type of fertilizer. I like to use Espoma. For the emerald green arborvitaes, I like to use Plant Tone. And for my hydrangeas here, I like to use Rose Tone, or you could use Holly Tone as well. Let's look at this Galloway urn a little closer together since she is so pretty. I love the detail on this Galloway urn as well. Like all the way down, it's just gorgeous. It's a big size container, so I can plant lots of things in here, and I have fun with this container every year. So this is a trailing pansy as well. The white with a little bit of yellow center and purple. same type of pansies that I had in the other container because I had too many left. And then the orange pansies. And you guys, I think this is kale or a mustard. It's a different type. I don't really remember. The sun's in my eyes, so I can't really tell if I'm getting a good view or not. This is the skinny side garden. Right here, these are the new trellises that I just bought and removed the old wooden trellises that were there, and I had this camellia training up on it. So this has been in the ground for, this is its second year blooming. And I found out, and I don't know about you guys, on camellias, let me know, that I feel like the very first year the buds fall off a lot, and then the second and third year they do really good. So that's what I'm finding right now, and these buds are pretty much staying on. This one's not as big as the other one, I think because it doesn't give maybe as much sun, but I have lots and lots of buds on there still. The only thing I don't like about white is when they age, they do turn this brown color. That's the only thing that I don't really love about white, but it is a gorgeous bloom. I have lots and lots of yellow pansies in here. I still have a little bit of shade. This one gets morning sun and afternoon shade. This is what this yellow bloom's looking like. I love it because it's so vibrant. And I have lots and lots of tulips in here. So it's going to be a very beautiful spring. So make sure you watch my spring bulb video. This is another little container from Unique Stone. And then this camellia right here is an apple blossom camellia, and this is the one that's lost a lot of its blooms. Can you see right here, they're just kind of falling off. So Jenny at Creekside did tell me before that if they fall off, that it still may be that it's dry, but the other ones aren't doing that, so I don't feel like that's it. I think this one is just pretty new, and it's still trying to put its energy in its roots is what I'm feeling like. So if you've got experience in this, let me know, because that's the only thing that I can figure out. And then the new ones that I planted on my Westside garden, they dropped all of their little buds too. And I think it's gotten plenty of water. These are my pulmonaria that I'm going to try to transplant over onto that cottage garden where I'm starting to get more shade. So I started to dig up some. I've already replanted some of the Lenten roses, and I've already pulled up the Jacob's ladder and planted that as well. I think I might keep this. I just went blank. Corabelle's is the technical name or nickname. I cannot think of its name, but anyways, I'll throw it up on the screen when I think about it. I think I'm going to keep that there. I like that structure up against the boxwoods. And then this is my Farafugum. I do need to cut those blooms off. They were yellow when they were blooming, but this has gorgeous leaf structure on it. And I'm going to replant that too. So here's one of the flowers on the camellia. It's called White by the Gate, And then you can see where I have some of the aged flowers as well. And they just kind of come right off. So I can pull them actually right off. Do you see how easy that came off? So I just need to come over here and pull some of those off. They do like fall to the ground too though. But this one seems to really be loving its space and it's doing great. Look how pretty this trellis is that I found. I did not buy this online, so I don't know if you could find this one. I found it at a nursery, at Black Hawk Nursery, and it was discounted as well. This is a planter that I planted up in the fall. This is St. John's wort right here, kind of like a vine. Got some pansies in here that are more red and yellow. Another corbel. And then I have I think it was called it's a cypress, Hokia. I'll throw the name up. This is the container I have in the very front garden, and I'm sorry, the garage doors are open, so you might see all the cars back there, but I do love this oregano. It is beautiful. So this is already starting to go out of bloom, but you can see where some of them are starting to come back and bloom there. Look, right here. I love this plant, so I need more of these in my life. A couple more pansies. Another heuchera back there. That's what I couldn't remember a while ago. Heuchera. Corbel. This gorgeous kale, so pretty. And this is a fatsia back there. I'll replant that later in some type of shade. And then this, I think this was called Wedgwood. It is doing great. Like, it is loving life in this container right here. I do love this foliage on it too. So pretty. I think it likes shade as well. I have a couple of pansies back there. This fatsia is kind of rare, so if you find something like this, you might want to hang on to it. This is a variegated one. I'll show you this leaf over here. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm in the very front garden right now, the very front of the house, and this is a spiral juniper that I try to keep really trimmed up. These really like spider mites, so you have to be very careful with the spider mites on these. And then you can see I have a gorgeous row of pansies there. Pansies look beautiful. I love this vibrant yellow. I have 3 of these planted together, and you can tell like a big difference when you have 3 versus just 1. And then this is my 3-tiered container from Kinsman. And then I love the cabbage at the very bottom. It's not cabbage. It always looks like cabbage to me. It's kale, flowering kale. And then I have purple and yellow pansies in the middle. And at the very top, I have another Miss America, some Dicandra falls, and some orange pansies. I was battling some, I did actually have, I don't know if I still do. Yes, I have some, what do you call them? Not spider mites. Anyways, I'll think of the name on that one as well. Aphids. I have aphids on this. And I believe And I listened to a girl, she was pretty interesting. She said when a plant has aphids, it means it's not very healthy. So I need to like figure out, maybe this just needs some more nutrients. I can spray it as well. I can put neem oil on it. Dichondra Falls is really pretty. These pansies really show up from afar. I think they're gorgeous. And look at the kale. Very pretty. So this is what I mean when I just kind of trim it. Do you see how this one's already starting to go dead? I'll just kind of pinch it back a little bit. You can see the dead ones right here. So this container is the same way. It's just not looking, it's just not like standing up like it should. And I think it's got aphids all over it too. Like I said, I need to pay more attention to these. I need to give it some more food probably. And then get all this old foliage off. Probably make it look better too, just by pulling all this off. Probably could get your pruners and do a better job. I do love my Felco 2 pruners. If you guys are looking for a really good set of pruners for this year. Yeah, I need to give this planter some attention today. I have a gorgeous hedge of boxwoods that I absolutely adore. I love the structure of boxwoods. And these are the sprinter ones. They do require some attention. You do have to spray them for spider mites. I like to spray mine in May and August. And they do need a good amount of water. I have mine all on drip. And then these are all the pansies that I have in here in this very front garden. And I have lots and lots of tulips in here. So like I said, you can tell a difference when you plant one versus the 3. They just give a bigger impact, I think. Even know that these were 2 flats all the way up here in the very front. Spiral boxwoods look really pretty. This is a perfect time to start planning, like what you're going to do for next summer. I've already got my spring bulbs in here, but I was thinking white would be gorgeous. Nothing but white. Petunias would be pretty in here. And then the new cashmere pink verbena I thought would be pretty. So let me know, like, do you like a lot of color? Or do you think up against these boxwoods, just a whole hedge of white would be gorgeous? I'm still trying to decide. This right here is my hardy hibiscus that I've already cut back. And this is a camellia that I've had in this container for, I think, going on 3 years. And it really loves this space. So if you're looking for something to put in a container and it needs a little bit of shade, this is like the perfect area for it. And this camellia gives me interest all winter long and summer long because the foliage on it's gorgeous. And then of course, I've got gorgeous hot pink blooms right now. Trying to find one that looks gorgeous. This holly right here was in the garden when I very first moved in, so that was probably the only thing that I kept. And then I have a rose that's climbing up here that I've been trying to train, but it's kind of hard to train. I feel like I need to trim her back, but this one is Lady of the Lake. And this is the Westside garden, and I went ahead and trimmed these standard hydrangea trees right here. When you're trimming these back, they say not to trim them back no more than 1/3. That way they'll have sturdy stems. But I think for the first couple years they're going to be a little floppy, so expect that whenever you're planting that. I have lots and lots of tulips and Easter flowers in here as well. I have a whole roll of pansies that are a different type of color pansies here. They are pink shades, Delta pink shades. And then you can see where I just need to come back and prune some of this rose too. This one is a mill on the floss and it loves this space, obviously, you can see. And then I need to come back and kind of clean up some of this too. This right here is Serendipity. It's a type of allium, which is an onion, and it gives me purple blooms. I have a hosta that's right there. This still has given me some gorgeous fall color. These are the 3 camellias that I showed you that are dropping their blooms too, as well. I have some columbine that's still giving me some green interest in the garden over here. Kind of remind me of a 4-leaf clover. And then these are all the blooms over here, the pinks. Of course, I have pink tulips that are going to come in over here. This area here gets morning sun and afternoon shade. So pay attention when you have new gardens that you're gonna plant in, like what type of plants will do better in there. I have a couple of hydrangeas, Tough Stuff hydrangea, some dianthesis. Those were pink, I believe. And then I have Ying and Yang. I don't know which one this is, but it gives you winter interest all the time too. I have both a Ying and a Yang. That way it'll give me these berries and it will produce, I think, tiny white flowers. I have an azalea. These are my punkster butterfly bushes. Some more of the pansies. Now, I know some of you guys that are in snow, like you can't plant pansies right now, but as soon as the ground's not frozen, you could probably put pansies in the ground and violas. When it starts to warm up, these are going to probably start growing and producing a little bit more flowers. And there is the new hydrangea, the ruby slippers that I just planted with you guys. And then I trimmed up this hydrangea standard form tree as well. And I'm pretty excited about this Daphne. The winter interest Daphne is supposed to start giving me some blooms. There's one of my clematis that I got growing. I think that's an evergreen one. Oh, look, I have one little bud that I can see. Let me come closer. So this is the winter Daphne. This is the first time I've seen it bloom. Look at that. It's variegated. And this was a specimen that cost me a little bit more, but very, very excited about it to see it like in the garden. So it's starting to bloom. But I love the structure of it. Isn't it a cute plant? Winter Daphne. When I went to a nursery, I asked a lady, I said, what plant that you would have here that you would recommend for someone that's unique to put into a garden? And this is the one that she recommended to me. So I took her advice and I'm excited to see it bloom. Very excited to see it bloom. I replanted some salvia over here. So that's what I've been doing in my garden, is just transplanting a lot of stuff. All right, friends, that's the end of this video. I hope it gave you some inspiration, and get out and enjoy your garden. And I hope that you have a happy new year, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.